for health care.
A system where those with more money get to skip the queue while everyone else is left waiting.
The province's proposal to shorten wait lists. Strike showdown.
They're going to be even more angry.
Alberta's teachers weigh options as the province talks about forcing them back to work. And this bartender's got bite and passed the test to serve.
The province doesn't know if or who is taking the training.
A stunt at the pub to prove how easy it is to be certified.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Alicia Fieldberg.
Hello and thank you for joining us. 2 more people have been taken to hospital after getting hit crossing Calgary roads in separate incidents across the city. In southeast Calgary, police say a man on a bicycle was hit by a vehicle. Emergency crews took him to Foothills Hospital in critical condition. It happened around 8 tonight on the off-ramp from Deerfoot Trail and Seaton Boulevard. The driver of the vehicle remained at the scene. Calgary Police Traffic Unit is investigating tonight. Just half an hour earlier in the northeast, someone walking near the Whitehorn C train station was hit. It's the same location another pedestrian was struck last week. Tonight's hit left 1 adult with minor injuries. An ambulance took the patient to Foothills Hospital. Last week, 3 pedestrians were killed in separate crashes that all happened within a 24-hour stretch. The province says it may reimburse Albertans for privately purchased diagnostic screening, but only if the tests find a significant or critical condition you did not know you had.
This means more tax dollars will be available for strengthening the public health care system right here in Alberta.
But most importantly, more Albertans taking greater proactive control of their preventative health screening will save and improve lives. With more preventative health clinics and equipment, Albertans will have more choice, more services, and earlier detection of the diseases and conditions that would otherwise take too many loved ones away from us far too early.
The government says new legislation encouraging more private scans would mean faster care and less strain on the public system. Public health advocates say this is another step toward an American-style system. You could jump the queue by paying for private CT or full-body scans or blood work, and if it uncovers a medical issue that poses a serious threat to your health, function, or life, you could be reimbursed. Diagnostics leading to routine hip and knee surgeries likely would not make the cut. Since 2023, despite a rise in the number of CT scans completed, the wait list grew by 44%. It's the same story for MRIs. In Calgary, patients face 423 days before getting one. Alberta spends about $1 billion every year on diagnostic imaging.
We're putting up barriers and we're creating a 2-tier system. It's American-style healthcare. If you have the money, you'll get access, and if you don't, you won't. And they kept talking in both the release and the video about how they'll continue to prioritize the medical need first, whether it's a public or private facility. But it's already happening that private facilities are allowing queue jumping. That's why we're being punished under the Canada Health Act.
The government says it will conduct stakeholder engagement on this proposal, but it is expected to pass in the legislature with the UCP majority. The Alberta Teachers Association says the government plans to legislate teachers back to work. Labor relations experts say they're watching closely to see how the government writes the legislation and how the union responds. Here's Stephanie Thomas.
Carrie Forster has been on strike and away from her grade 1 classroom in Airdrie to demand changes in education.
So there's a lot of complexities. There's a lot of kids. We're doing body break and we couldn't even move properly. And I found that for a veteran teacher overwhelming.
She hopes that an agreement can be reached at the bargaining table before the province legislates an end to the strike and to justify her unpaid time spent away from her passion as a teacher.
Government wants to kind of brush it under the carpet and just mandate us back and not deal with it.
The Alberta Teachers Association says it's preparing for the government to legislate teachers back to work. The legislature resumes the fall session on Thursday. The union is already speaking with lawyers on how to respond. One sticking point for them is classroom sizes and the student-teacher ratio.
There's only 2 provinces in the whole country that doesn't have any kind of protections within a collective agreement around class sizes and student-teacher ratios.
One labor relations expert says he is watching closely to see what the union may do after legislation is tabled and whether teachers fall in.
And for the union, there's a risk that they might turn on the union, because their frustration's got to go somewhere. So it's either going to go up against the employer and the government, or it might go against the union. So if the union's wise, they would be channeling that anger towards the provincial government, which is probably not that hard.
The Alberta Federation of Labour says other unions under negotiations are also prepared to rally against the province.
They can't just use their legislative power to impose a contract without negotiation. That breaks the Constitution.
Legislation would likely pass through quickly, despite the NDP's plans to block it.
It violates their right to actually advocate for themselves and for their students and for their co-workers, and it doesn't solve the problem.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
About 1,000 Calgary area teachers are expected to hit the highway tomorrow, headed to Edmonton for a rally, which is expected to include teachers and supporters from across the province.
This plan for us to go up is to show that we stand strong behind our association and we stand strong behind our conviction on what we are doing right now. And so we are strong, and whatever's going to happen in the future, we are stronger today and we are still in this fight.
The rally will be held outside the legislature while the throne speech happens inside. Calgary's new mayor and council are ready to get to work, but first, 3 campaigns say they'll apply for recounts in tight races. Tonight, one of those recounts in Ward 9 has been rejected. Another recount in Ward 12 has been approved and will take place starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow. As Jordan Canagan reports, once the team is confirmed, council can start addressing key issues.
Many Calgary candidates pledged to do it. Now the new council will have to follow through with the work.
Yes, it speaks to the need to repeal blanket rezoning. We're going to be starting the initial conversations about the mechanics of that with the incoming council, but it's very important to also focus on the replacement approach.
Blanket rezoning was the top campaign issue, with candidates sparring over whether to repeal it or keep it. The conversation will start right away.
I know based on the elected members of council, it's going to come. The discussion's going to come. I'm open to having that discussion, but I need to make sure that we are leveraging that discussion for the infrastructure.
While Jeremy Farkas promised to repeal it, he'll need the support from the majority of council. The group advocating for the end of upzoning thinks the votes are there.
Well, I think we're cautiously optimistic. I think there's a healthy mix of new members on council. There seems to be sort of 6 or 7-ish that are supportive of removing reducing blanket upzoning, reversing it rather.
But completely removing blanket rezoning would require another full public hearing. The last one went on for weeks with hundreds of speakers. Some new councillors believe major amendments are a better path than starting back at square one.
I don't know that we necessarily have the rules around what the built form of the rezoning looks like. Getting in and fine-tuning that is critical, but repealing it is not what I stand for.
I was firm on the fact that I wasn't a supporter of repealing. I'm open to finding some amendments and some parallel policies that help us manage it better and make it more effective, because ultimately for me, we have a new land use bylaw that's going to be on the table for this council.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary saw a significant drop in women elected to council. Just 2 women have secured seats this election, marking the lowest level of female representation in more than a decade. Terry Fikowski reports.
A first-time meeting between incoming Mayor Jeremy Farkas and returning councillor Jennifer Wyness.
I want to learn from all my colleagues that are coming in. I have to understand what their goals are.
But there will only be one other female face in chambers, newcomer Kim Tyers in Ward 1, despite women running in all but 2 districts. The pair represents 13% of the new council, the lowest proportion of women since the 2013 election.
I wish it was higher. I wish we were able to sustain sort of the efforts made in 2021. But I think it's also a reminder that that progress is fragile.
That year, 5 women were elected to council, including Jody Gondek as the first female mayor in the city, a historic achievement she's proud of.
No one's taking that away from me, and no one is taking that away from the fact
that there will be more women who will be the mayor of the city. Just because I'm done doesn't mean women are done.
Gondek faced targeted harassment over 4 years, as did her female colleagues.
During the campaigns, you would get dick pics sent to you. And you just have to stay focused on policy and doing the job.
It's one of many barriers that continue to face women in politics, in addition to a disproportionate burden of caregiving and challenges with securing financing.
When we think about 51% of the population is female and to only have 2 out of 15 on council, that's disappointing. And for only potentially 2 women to always bring in that perspective can be a burden.
There is a strong show of female representation among public school trustees, with 6 of the 7 seats held by women, though experts suggest that may reflect gender roles at play.
Because it is in the education space, that this is a role that is coded as being feminine, so it's sort of seen as appropriate or sort of gender stereotype aligned for women to serve in those positions.
As some women return to pack up and others for work, a reminder the glass ceiling is far from shattered at City Hall. Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
Another female candidate, Sarah Ferguson, is the one who requested a recount in Ward 12 after losing by just 29 votes to Mike Jamieson, and that recount will happen tomorrow morning. Emergency crews have received more than 160 calls over just 3 days for fireworks complaints. They come as many Calgarians celebrate religious festivals, including Diwali. One firework landed on a balcony in Saddle Ridge late Tuesday night, lighting a planter pot on fire. Fire crews were able to put it out before it spread. Another firework on Monday night hit a truck in Cornerstone, causing $30,000 in damage. Calgary Fire believes people are buying the fireworks outside the city, but says it is illegal to use them here without a permit.
We recognize that I believe this time of year is Diwali, which is a specific cultural celebration. Now, fireworks are a risk no matter what, so our bylaw is in effect the entire year. So Canada Day or any other times that people can have access or would want to use fireworks, it's the same bylaws all the time.
One person has received a ticket. Fines for using fireworks without a permit start at $250. While there have been close calls here, one homeowner in Edmonton has nearly $200,000 in damage after an illegal fireworks display nearby their house struck their home. We are now in the second round of voting for Alberta's new license plate. The original 8 designs have been narrowed down to 4. They include the standard red on white, Moraine Lake, an Alberta flag with mountains, and a cattle ranch and pump jack. All of the options feature a wild rose flower and new slogan, strong and free. Service Alberta Minister Dale Nally says 150,000 Albertans have voted so far at alberta.ca/pick-a-plate. That's where you can vote as well. Danielle, it's been so warm lately. You could hang out on a patio in this weather, right?
You're so right. Yes, it's late October pretty much, and here we go. We're looking at a daytime high tomorrow of 16 degrees, so even a little warmer than it was today. And the wind should be calm once again in Calgary tomorrow, and very bright, as you can see. Things change on the weekend. I'll show you that just ahead.
Thanks, Danielle. Some Calgarians saw quite a surprising bartender today, but what may be more surprising is how easy it was for this dog to get certified to do the job. Her owner says it points to potential problems.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Statistics Canada is in Calgary for the next few weeks gathering data for a national health survey. An examination centre is now set up in Braeside. About 850 people will be randomly chosen to do an interview, then provide information like height, weight, blood pressure, and give blood and urine samples. The voluntary program covers everyone from ages 1 to 79 years old.
You know, you would learn a lot of information about yourself. We run, over 100 blood tests, a lot of things that you might not get at your doctor. So there's a lot of information that people can learn about themselves, and they're more than welcome to share that information with their doctors if they'd like to, if they ever want to follow up on something.
If you have been chosen, you will have received a note in the mail. Anyone participating will get a $150 reimbursement for taking part. Data is being collected across the country until the spring of 2027. Alberta's ProServe certification is supposed to keep the public safe by training bar staff to understand the dangers of overconsumption and impaired driving. But as Kevin Green reports, there are serious concerns about the program because it's so simple, even a dog can pass the test.
Meet Phoebe, the only dog actually qualified to be behind the bar. She's 57 in dog years and successfully obtained Alberta's mandatory ProServe certification, the same training required for humans who serve alcohol.
Very proud. You know, she's been leeching off us for about 9 years, and it's about time that she's able to step out in the workforce and pay some bills.
You're reaching through. Sure.
All joking aside, Phoebe's certification raises serious questions about the integrity of the system managed by the Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Commission, which is why Cognizance, a training and assessment security company, recruited Phoebe to challenge the test.
We think of how long this program has been in place. We need the systems to be checked to make sure it's meeting the intent. Otherwise, it ends up just being a tax on the time and the money of Albertans.
Phoebe's owner used AI to take and pass the test. That it can be so easily fooled is no big shock to those working in the industry.
Do you know, not particularly surprised. It's unsupervised, so anybody could do it. I could send it over to my mum in Scotland and she could complete the course for me.
ProServe testing is designed to ensure those working with alcohol understand their legal and safety requirements. If tests can easily be bypassed, that's a big problem, says Mad Canada.
To hear about situations where the system can be bypassed or cheated, and so people who are getting their certificates really haven't done the work. It's concerning because I think it ultimately puts everybody at risk.
AGLC admits it doesn't require identification and expects employers to be sure staff are compliant. In a statement to CTV, a spokesperson wrote, "Employers are required to maintain accurate personnel records and are responsible for verifying the identity of the individual." AGLC can also revoke ProServe certification, which is what happened after CTV inquired about how Phoebe got hers. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
This isn't the first time Phoebe has acquired certification meant only for humans. She has a Canadian boating license, completed job site safety courses, and an online defensive driving test. For a link to her website listing her over 150 credentials, you can head to our website at ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Well, it's been warm weather for the last couple of days, and that will continue for a while longer. Danielle has her forecast after the break.
Well, yet another day we've been spoiled by Mother Nature, and more to come on this. But before we get into the forecast, 14 degrees was the high today in the city, 15 in Edmonton, 15 as well in Victoria. Looking at the rest of the country, you can see it was cooler in Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, but they had similar temperatures east of there. All right, today it was a relatively calm day on the wind front anyway. So close to 30 kilometers per hour in Calgary. We can expect that same type of wind gust for tomorrow. So not so bad. 50 was the max today in Pincher Creek, but tomorrow we'll pick up to 60 here. Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass. And it will be a little gustier Lethbridge and through Medicine Hat. Lethbridge, you're looking at 50 kilometer per hour gusts tomorrow. And Medicine Hat, you had a gust at 31. Today, tomorrow, closer to 40. All right, radar and satellite, not a whole lot going on. And while it looks like there's a lot coming at us, there actually isn't, because the mountains are going to keep all that moisture and active weather off to the BC side. There will be some cloudy periods here and there that will shift in over the next couple of days, but it will still be mainly sunny in southern Alberta. And of course, the winds will pick up Pincher Creek to Lethbridge to Medicine Hat for tomorrow because of this. Okay, hour by hour forecast. Again, not a whole lot to talk about, just cloudy periods at times. I will freeze this at one point though. Again, this is in the overnight hours, Friday night through Saturday morning, so it's not a whole lot to talk about. But snow for the mountaintops, Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass, rain, maybe even some wet snow mixed in with it because it's in the overnight hours. But it's not going to make it any further east than that. East of there, we're just looking at some cloud cover at times. All right, so for longer range forecast for the city, 16 tomorrow, so even a little warmer tomorrow with all sunshine. A few clouds possible on Friday. 18 as our high, so even warmer then. The cool down starts on Saturday. Saturday, we're down to 13. It will be fairly gradual. And then we'll be in the single digits by Sunday. The key thing is for next week. So starting Sunday and through all of next week, our daytime highs will be mainly in those single digits. So it will be a much cooler week next week. Friday, Halloween day, big day. Some models are suggesting warmer than 6, but most models suggesting closer to 6. It is a bit of a ways away. I will continue to keep you posted as we get closer.
Thanks, Danielle. And although Halloween is just over a week away, there are already plenty of spooky entertainment options in Calgary. We'll take a look at a new version of a classic chilling tale after the break. This American rock duo will perform at Spruce Meadows on June 5th and 6th. Tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. Friday through Show Pass. The Calgary Flames were hoping to shake their 6-game losing streak tonight.
Lost it, Clark alone, shoots, scores!
Adam Klapka scored a third-period goal to tie things up with the Montreal Canadiens at the Dome tonight. The game went into overtime, but the Flames lost 2-1. Next game, they face the Jets in Winnipeg this Friday. 2 theatre companies have rewritten a Canadian adaptation of a spooky American play. Kevin Fleming looks at the legend of Sleepy Hollow by Alberta Theatre Projects and the Old Trout Puppet Workshop.
A school teacher. Precisely. Oh, so he says.
It's a classic fall setting. The original Legend of Sleepy Hollow short story was published in 1820. This 2025 adaptation is by writers with the Alberta Theatre Projects and the Old Trouts Workshop.
The story itself is a completely new version. It's nothing like Tim Burton's. It's not quite like the cartoon of Walt Disney in I think it's the 40s that was made.
Matthew Mooney and a total of 7 other actors bring the story to life on stage.
It's exciting to be able to take something familiar and flip it on its head and make it new, fresh, and exciting.
Sam Kadri's job is to take what the writers have come up with and adapt it to the stage. This is his first time working with the Old Trouts.
I've only admired them from close and from afar, so it's been really, really exciting to dig deep and dive into their minds and their world.
The challenge for Peter Balkwell, who helped write the adaptation, was training the actors to become puppeteers. Mooney's never done something like this before.
This is a completely new endeavour for me, and there's certainly been times where it's been stressful, but I've got a good team that has supported me throughout the entirety, from cast to the director to stage managers and the theatre. So it's been excellent.
Balkwell says the production could become an annual fall classic, similar to The Christmas Carol.
It's exciting. I expect every theatre in Canada is going to want to run this show. And I think there's going to be some interest for folks down in the States too, because we speak about their current situation. And everybody wants to find a voice on that.
The show runs now through November 9th at the Martha Cohen Theatre. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the play includes a life-size Headless Horseman puppet, but only those who go to the production will get to see it. Thanks for staying up late with us.